All-Star Weekend is officially over and the Bulls are back to it at full swing come Thursday. They'll be practicing before then, of course, and we're going to be breaking down the 4 keys to success that they have to look forward to for the remainder of the season. I'm your host, Joey Mercer. This is another episode of Bulls Digest, and before we get into it there today, I just want to say that about 80% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel, so if you aren't already subscribed, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and every single time we upload, you'll be notified so you can stay up to date with our takes on the Chicago Bulls and everything you need to know about the team. So without further ado, let's get into the topic at hand there today, and that is keys to success down the stretch. So this came up in an article a few days ago, and I really wanted to break down everything they had to say and see if I have to agree with it or if there's anything I'd like to add or subtract from this article. It started off by saying, of course, the title of it being 4 keys to success for Chicago Bulls second half of the season, and this one was by Kiefer Mendoza. Not an article that we've used or a website we've used before, but this one definitely had some good points that I wanted to talk about. It says, key number 1, continue to unlock Ayo Dosunmu. Kobe White isn't the only Bull having a breakout season. Former second-round pick Ayo Dosunmu has sneakily improved on both ends of the ball this season. In his last 10 games, the young guard has averaged 16 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. In one of those games against the Hawks, Dosunmu put up a career-high 29 points. He was impressively efficient, shooting 12 of 18 from the field and 5 for 7 from 3. Dosunmu's solid three-point efficiency has been a game-changer for the team as they have struggled from behind the arc. And I have to agree, Dosunmu's looked a whole lot better, especially since Zach's gone out with injury. And it's great to see him be a potential replacement for Lavine down the stretch. Obviously, he's not going to score near as much, but he can provide some more effort on the defensive side of the ball. Defensively, Dosunmu is no slouch. In his career game against the Hawks, Dosunmu put up a steal and a block alongside his offensive explosion. While he isn't the strongest or most athletic, his quickness and hustle make him a valuable player on both ends. Dosunmu's continued development is key for the Bulls to maximize this team's versatility. Whether he's starting or coming off the bench, Dosunmu serves a significant role in Chicago's schemes. And you can see there, that is the exact numbers that he put up against the Atlanta Hawks, putting up 29 points on 12 of 18, 5 of 7 from 3, 7 assists, a steal, a block, and the biggest thing being the win in that, because every game down the stretch is now crucial. You can see here in the next one, it says key number 2, play Vooch and Drummond together. Throughout the season, head coach Billy Donovan has teetered between rotations, anchored by either Nikola Vucevic or Andre Drummond at the center. However, the team has seen some success when the two are on the court together, which is really interesting because I remember in the early to mid-2000s, Isaiah Thomas, the Pistons Isaiah Thomas, ISIAH, not Isaiah Thomas that was with the Celtics in 2017 in the MVP running, but that Isaiah Thomas, when he was head over the New York Knicks, he tried to zig when everybody else was zagging, so to speak, or vice versa, and they went out and they got Zach Randolph and Eddie Curry, and it really wasn't working out going bigger. So this is why it's very interesting to see. Usually when you go against what the rest of the league is doing, it doesn't always work out. Most times it doesn't. And in this situation, I didn't think it was going to work out initially with Drummond and Vooch, but it absolutely has, and that's really strange. Playing that big ball against other teams has really helped us throughout a lot of tough victories that we've had as of late, and I continue to want to see more of it. Vucevic's value is highlighted by his ability to stretch the floor as a big man with his elite pick-and-pop game. On the other end, Vucevic isn't the most reliable paint defender, especially against stronger bigs. This is where Drummond comes in. The elite rebounder also provides more strength in the paint than Vucevic. It also doesn't hurt that Drummond is a double-double machine and can put up 10 to 13 points in the dunker spot regularly. And that's very accurate. I mean, he's getting so many offensive rebounds and touches around the rim off of that it is very easy for Drummond to put up those points in minutes. We've seen him in Vooch's absence, put up a lot of rebounds and a solid points per game average as well. So it's good to see him getting some more playing time again. I think the Bulls are better off when Drummond gets more minutes rather than less. Starting these two together allows Chicago to maximize Vucevic's strengths rather than force him to predominantly occupy the paint. It also gives them the rebounding advantage on both ends with Drummond at the center. Having Vucevic play more as a stretch four and Drummond in the paint could be the keys for Chicago to improving their weak front court presence. And once again, it's so strange to see that the league's getting smaller and the power forward position is really dwindling, and it's really been SFs that are playing PF and just kind of stretching the floor, and they're really small. So you can look at it at one end on offense. Vooch always has a mismatch if he's playing power forward, but he definitely doesn't have the foot speed on defense. So that's an interesting look, but it definitely has worked for them, which is really strange. But why fix something that is working? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, so to speak. So if this is working for the Bulls down the stretch, keep doing it. Why not? Next thing was key number 3, shorten the lineup. The first half of the season saw some experimental rotations from Coach Donovan. Young, unproven players like Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips have had chances to show what they're capable of. Recent veteran additions like Torrey Craig and Javon Carter have a lot of expectations on their shoulders to fill in the gaps of the star players. And definitely the pressure is on them as opposed to Terry and Phillips, of course. Young players just trying to find their own in this league are not going to be expected to step up too much in a bench position for sure, but I could see Carter and Craig definitely being called upon in some late game situations if they have the hot hand or if they need to play defense on a particular player. At this point, it would be wise for Coach Donovan to shorten his lineup down to just 8 or 9 players. Carter was meant to be a 3-point specialist for Chicago, but has only put up a 33.7 clip from 3. As far as the guards go on this team, Carter's toward the bottom defensively. Terry is like a black hole on offense, shooting 23% from 3 with no ability to create shots for himself or others, and Phillips, a promising rookie, is just too raw right now to contribute to any sort of winning. Now, when it comes to the defense, Carter's defense has definitely been down from previous years, but he definitely isn't the worst defensive guard on this team. I do think that he showed that in the win against the Atlanta Hawks when he was picking up Trae Young full court, that he still has a lot left in the tank defensively, and I would definitely see that turning around with more minutes. Players can definitely get discouraged when their minutes get cut, and I feel like that's happened to Javon Carter, so hopefully he can turn things around now that more minutes are available for him. If Coach Donovan wants to maximize his lineups, reducing underperforming players' minutes is key. Replace that playing time with more minutes from Dosunmu, Drummond, and Craig. Increase the workload for star players and emerging role players. They're ready for it. Let the best guys play. And that's exactly what you have to do down the stretch when you are the Chicago Bulls fighting for a play-in or playoff spot. You need to put in the best rotations you possibly can. It's not about getting everybody their minutes. It's about getting that victory, that W. And the players on the team really understand that definitely. The experimental lineups were good to see what we could do. But right now, if we're going to make this push for the playoffs, they definitely need to run the best guys at all points in time on the court. Next thing in the last key was give Kobe the keys. One of the best stories of the season, White has emerged as a real star player in the league this season. The 24-year-old guard over the last 5 games has averaged 24 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. In January and February, White put up 4 30-point games, including one against Cleveland where he shot over 60% from deep. I mean, it's been an absolutely great story from Kobe White, seeing what he's been able to do, and he should be the most improved player, as you can see right here. No one in the NBA has improved more over the last year than Kobe White. 19 points from 9.7, also a 10-point jump. Rebounds, 4.7 from 2.6. Assists, 5.2 from 2.8. The field goal percentage is up 2%, and the threes are up 3%. That's on more attempts than those as well. It's been a great progression for Kobe White, and just the points per game alone is what solidifies him as probably my pick for the most improved player this year. I don't even think it's going to be close. I thought it could have been Jalen Johnson earlier in the year, and he's been very, very good. He would be my next pick, but I really do believe that it is Kobe White this season who's had a drastic change, and it's been just phenomenal watching him play down the stretch. DeMar DeRozan has been the go-to option since he arrived in Chicago, but now with Zach Lavine out and DeRozan in the twilight of his career, it's time to give the keys to this team's offense. The offense flows much more freely with White at the helm as the primary playmaker and scorer, and DeRozan has become more of a willing passer. But White's ability to score at all 3 levels opens up his teammates even more. The pick-and-roll game between White and Vucevic and puts the two in spots where they thrive. White and Dosunmu are 2 sides of the same coin offensively, both quick guards who shoot the ball well, but with the similarities, the two are still able to work in tandem well. And once again, I mean, it's great to see that they're working so well together. Coby White and Sumu have been a great backcourt in the absences of course, Lonzo Ball and Zach Lavine. If we're winning games with that backcourt, it looks great for the Bulls, and considering they didn't make any moves at the deadline, they really need this roster to work well together. The lineups need to be perfect. They need to be all meshing well, and they got to give it their all because there is no other situation. There's no plan B. You gave up at the deadline, so now you've kind of decided your fate for the rest of the season. Last thing we saw on this was in Wednesday's game against Cleveland. Chicago went to White for the game-tying shot. Although he missed, the play being drawn up for him rather than DeRozan was indicative of the shift that may be starting to happen. This final key may be the most significant of all for the Chicago Bulls. They've struck gold with White, who is just on the first year of a team-friendly 3-year deal. The key, not just for this season, but for Chicago's future, could be this. Make this Coby White's team. And he's only making about $13 million, if I remember correctly, next season. So this is a guy that we absolutely have to give the keys to. I think that is the most major key to success they just mentioned. And I hope that this isn't just for this season, but for seasons to come. This has been your host, Joey Mercer. Hope you enjoyed the video there today. If you did, make sure to go down below and leave a like on the video. Comment on the video. I'd love to hear from all you guys. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Sign out.